Alright, so this is how I replace my fletching. So I just had some fletching get ripped off. So I'll just show you how I will replace the fletching. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. What I'm using is this grayling jig. So you can mount it to the table with some screws here. I generally don't do that. You put the feather in here. These are sized out for the size of arrow you put in there. I'll show you in a second. And it's just a magnet. You can set a few different things. You can set, I guess, if you're going to have the vanes going this way or that way. So yeah, you can set it. I have it set slightly just a few degrees, so I don't know if you can see that here, but it's not straight on. It's slightly tilted towards the right. Okay, so it'll put the wings on just slightly a little bit so they'll spin towards the right. A plastic scraper. Plastic just so you don't ruin your arrows as much as possible. You could use some other chemical things just to try to take off the super glue as well, but I don't care if my arrows look super pretty or not, so if I scratch them up a little bit, that is okay for me. Some sort of a fletching glue helps to bond in a minute or two. Some isopropyl alcohol just to clean up that area. So right now I'll just take a scraper just to parts of it. Just take off the bulk of the most of the old fletching. So generally it doesn't damage the arrow. Might have a few nicks and scratches on it. There we go. This I'll just pretty much just try to tear off the remainder of it. So just purely from just doing the scraping, I was able to get pretty much most of this debris and junk off. Make sure we really have good, super good adhesion. Again, sometimes I'll just take a little bit of sand. This is like, what is it, 1500 grit, wet or dry. I'm going to do dry just to roughen up the area that we're going to put some stuff on. But by no means are we making any significant damage to the paint. We'll get a little bit of alcohol here, clean up that area, and then let it dry. So on this particular grayling for this Easton Game Getter XX75 full aluminum arrow, the arrow size is about 20 for this particular jig. And there's a little notch here for the where you put the nock in. You put it in there, right? It sits in there, and then you can bring it to lock into place there, so it's not going to move. You can fletch either 4 feathers or you can fletch 3 feathers. So I have it set up just to do 3 feathers, and you can see the angle that it is on right now. So it's not going to go straight on. It's going to be closer here to this arrow, edge of the arrow here, and a little further up here. And this is again to give it some right hand spin. There are little notches here to show you where you're going to put the end of the feather. Like so. I put it around the right here. It's right about there. I'll just do a test fit, make sure it's similar. Yeah, looks good. Next is to put your super glue on. And it's so important not to put too much. Less is more in this particular case. Now if it came out a different color, I would appreciate that so you can actually see how much you're putting down, but of course it's clear on white. And then this is where we put it, set it on the bottom here, make sure it's touching, and then set it onto the arrow. Bam. Right there like that. Now, again, you do have a bit of setting time, so you don't have to worry and like get it done super fast. Apply some pressure to it just to make sure we have good adhesion of the glue. So the downside to this particular fletching jig is that you can only do 1 feather at a time, and you just have to wait for that to set. So I'm going to release that there. Then all you do is spin that around to accept the next fletching. Then push it into place and hold. I can spin this out, and then hopefully I won't shift anything around. there it is. There is the right angle. So the air is going to hit here and push the arrow and spin it towards the right in order to help stabilize. I do one last thing with my fletchings, and I put a little drop of the super glue along the leading edge, and I don't usually, but sometimes I'll do the back edge as well. So I'll put a little dab of super glue just to seal that in so that things don't get snagged or caught there. And there's that little sharp edge end of the fletching that is right there, and that helps to cover that up as well. And just on the trail edge, not totally necessary, but sometimes if you hit something like a target hard, it'll rip up the fletching from the rear, so this is just to help to keep it locked into place a little bit more. There it is. And this is the 3 fletchings, and with that slight twist to push the arrows to the right. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, just give me a good thumbs up there. Please leave some comments. I know there's so many ways to fletch an arrow. So constructive comments with clean language are appreciated. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.